What's up, everybody? I'm Guy, and I am joined here today with Matt.
Hi.
And today we wanted to talk about kind of two topics. First one, the main one that kind of gave me the idea for this video, is the phrase low grade versus no grade, and the sentiment that somebody would rather have a low grade, beat up copy of a particular comic book than not having it at all. And I have my opinions on that, and you, of course, have your opinions on that. And then the second one you suggested we should talk about is slabbed versus raw, right?
Yes.
Why don't we jump onto that one real quick first, and I'll let you kick it off since that was your idea. What are your talking points or feelings about slabbed versus unslabbed?
Well, it all depends on your reasoning. Why do you want to have a slabbed book?
Mm-hmm.
And some reasons are basically like, I want this book to stay in this condition in my collection forever.
Right.
And that's a good way to do it. Get it slabbed. It's never going to change unless there's some kind of catastrophe or whatever. It's going to stay in that condition forever.
A fire is pretty much going to...
Yeah. Or do you want to flip it? Are you buying this book because you think in the future it's going to go up in value and then you want to resell it?
It's an investment.
It's an investment, yes.
Not all investments make money, but you know.
Yes, sometimes it pays off, sometimes it doesn't. That's how it works. And I think we're seeing a lot of that now because of the decline of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. The market is really waning on those books that were valuable because of the use or introduction of new characters in the cinematic universe. But again, we've seen the decline in the quality of movies, and it's just the market's not what it used to be for that kind of thing.
Plus, the economy is not what it used to be.
Yeah,
I mean, there's a lot of reasons, but yeah, prices are coming down.
Yeah, but key books are always going to be key books. Like Avengers #4, Avengers #1, first Ghost Rider, first Moon Knight. Those are always
Hulk 181.
Hulk 181. Those are always going to be valuable books.
Sure.
No matter what happens in the movies or TV shows. So yeah, that's another reason is you want to flip it. And I've done that in the past. I've bought books and flipped them and stuff like that. But ultimately what I found is the juice just wasn't worth the squeeze. I was spending so much time and energy and effort into doing that. I found that it was worth more time to spend, doing things that I like doing than, doing all this work and effort and, all this stress of flipping books constantly.
Well, you got to ask yourself, do I want to just be a comic book collector? Do I want to enjoy and appreciate these things? Mm-hmm. Or do I want to be a dealer? Do I want to make money at comic books?
And I could tell when you start thinking of something as a business, it starts becoming less and less enjoyable. So that's why I had my moment, my epiphany, where I said, you know what? I would rather just be a fan and enjoy, a hobby that, that gives me joy.
Now, from that perspective, is there any reason to have a slabbed book in your collection then if you're not really worried about
if
profit?
If you have a book, like we had discussed earlier, say I have a New Mutants 98 that I bought off the rack and I had it graded and it's a 9.8, I'm going to leave that in a slab, obviously.
I mean, New Mutants 98 isn't a rare book. But in 9.8, it's a relatively rare book, so maybe it's worth keeping it in the slab.
Sure.
But if it's an 8?
If it's an 8, honestly, for me, I would just crack it, bag and board it, and have it in my collection.
Yeah, speaking of 8s, so I just got this one in the mail. It is Swamp Thing, or is it technically Saga of Swamp Thing, number 37. First appearance of John Constantine. I don't know if you can see the label. It's an 8.0. I picked this up off of eBay. Auction was running. I threw a number at it, and I was like, hey, if I can get it for under $200, I'll be happy. And I think I might have threw like 203.37, or you always do a little bit of a weird number, right? And it closed at $190. So I got this book for $190.
Nice.
This is coming out of the slab the second I get my hammer handy. Like, you know what I mean? I have no interest in keeping it in this case, but I will buy a book in a slab if it benefits me, if the price is right, or for any number of reasons. So I don't hate slabs. I don't have a thing against them, but like you, I agree. I want this raw. I want to be able to open it and look at it and read it and enjoy it the way that I enjoy all my other books.
Yes. Yeah, like I had mentioned to you earlier, every comic in my collection I have read. Every one of them. I have read that book.
I'm trying. I still have a bunch of newer books that I haven't caught up with yet, but by and large, I try to read all my books. Sure.
And then there are the books that I get signed. I get signed books by writers and artists. I've brought a few on previously on the channel. Some of my favorite stories and books that mean something to me. And like when I was at Heroes Con, I got these books signed by like 5 of the people that were part of that book, like the writer, the inker, the colorist, who did the cover page and who the editor was. That was so cool getting stories that I loved signed by all the people that helped make it happen. That's something I will treasure.
And that's going to, like I said, lead us into the discussion of low grade or no grade. There's this concept of like, I'd rather have any version of the book than have no version of the book. Lots of people say this phrase. I'd rather have X-Men #1 as a 1.0 than have no copy of X-Men #1. And by and large, I personally disagree with this thought process. If a book is so unpleasant to look at, if it has certain flaws like water damage or big chunks missing, you have a list of flaws that are kind of deal killers for you. I don't want any copy of the book. So if I can't afford it in the version or the grade that I would enjoy, I generally just accept that, like, I guess I just can't afford this book. I'd want an X-Men #1 as maybe a 4 at a minimum, right? Maybe a 3.5, but a 4. Well, I can't afford an X-Men #1 at a 4. It's out of my price range. I'm just never going to own it.
Well, I mean, if someone's basically giving it away, then yeah, of course I'm going to take it.
Sure.
But at fair market value, I think that's set the bar right there. If it's at fair market value.
Yeah. We're not talking about like buying something for a steal and then flipping
you find something at a garage sale, for $1.
We're being realistic here.
Yeah, realistically, if there is a book like say an X-Men #1, and it's a 1.0,
falling apart inside the
falling
slab.
apart, the
cover's detached.
It's a mess. It's a hot mess.
Stains all over it. Chunks missing.
I would have to agree. I would rather save up my money and really get like at least a 4.
Sure.
Something like that. Sure. I think we could agree on that, like fair market value. But
I mean, first of all, let me set this bar for Silver Age books and Golden Age. Like, what's your bottom grade? What's the lowest you would really feel happy about?
Well, I mean, I can't really assign like a specific grade to what would be acceptable to me. I think I'm willing to let a lot more slide than you are. Also it's a sliding scale. Like I expect the book to be in a much better condition. Say it's modern.
Right. Yeah. Like this Swamp Thing that I showed.
Bronze Age, I'm letting a lot more slide. Silver Age, even more. I'm willing to let slide. Like Silver Age, I don't mind the subscription crease down the center. When you would order your books from Marvel, they would fold them in half and put them in an envelope so you get this crease right down the center. That doesn't bother me in the least.
That wouldn't be a deal killer for me because I understand that it's just part of the process and it is what it is. But I would go out of my way to try to find one that didn't have it if I could.
Yeah, see, it doesn't bother me in the least because...
What about the grease pencil that the vendors would sometimes write the price on?
They would change the price on it, write the grease pencil. Again, doesn't bother me in the law. Sometimes people use a stamp.
Oh, yeah, the rubber stamp.
Sure. Or when like a kid would sign the book on the cover.
Andy's comic.
Or on the interior page saying, hey, this is my comic.
Right.
To me, I don't mind that stuff at all.
That's part of the process for you.
That doesn't bother me in the least because I look at it like this was a book that this little kid loved so much, he put his name on it because he didn't want his brother or friend or whoever to take his books. These are his. And that he loved the book that much, and he probably reread that thing who knows how many times.
Wore out the spine.
Wore out the spine. So, I mean, that's a little bit of history in that book. This belonged to someone, and they cared enough about it to put their name on it. That's pretty cool. I really like that. That's not a deal breaker. And the subscription crease, same thing. Like somebody ordered this comic, it was mailed to their house, and that's because that's the only way they could get it. And they wanted to make sure that they got that, so they got a subscription to it. That's really cool to me. I mean, I love that kind of stuff. It's all part of the history of comics that I love so much.
I mean, those things aren't the biggest deal killers for me, but the ones for me are, and we mentioned this, water damage. I don't want a book with water damage. Big chunks missing out of the cover, the whole cover missing. Like, the cover has to be complete and attached.
Yeah, I would agree there. I think that the cover has to be attached. I mean, it could be hanging by a thread.
I don't even like that because
But if it's there,
I'm afraid to handle it if it's like.
I'm good with that. I'm good with that.
I don't like it. I don't like it at all.
I really like on some of the old, especially the older books, how they describe like metal, like a patina.
Right, sure.
That's how I kind of think of it. I like a book with like little bits missing, that's like the patina of the book. And especially if it's like a really cool, like Kirby cover, you add a little distress and age to it. I don't know, man. There's something about it, man. There's something about it.
Do you buy your jeans with like holes and like wear and tear on them already? Like when
no,
you go to
just my comics.
Okay, just your comics. That's fair. What one of your deal killers you told me, and I agree with you. I had never thought of it before. Is the value stamps?
Yes, the old Marvel value stamp. Yeah, that's just, again, that's part of the history of comics, man. This old value stamp thing. And you could buy the little booklet, and the idea was you would cut them out and glue them into your little value stamp book. But yeah, that's gone. That's part of the comic that's missing. It's not intact. It's not all there.
And sometimes story is on the other page.
Sometimes you're cutting out a chunk of the story.
Yeah.
What's wrong with you, man?
Right. So bottom line, if you're gonna buy a book that you really want, let's just say Avengers #1, because I know that's a book that you like.
Yes.
Would you want to own it, whether it's graded or it's raw? If it's like just beat but complete, that would be okay with you. Beat but complete is okay.
Yes. I have a copy now. And it's sold for what I was willing to pay for it, and the front presents beautifully.
Yeah, I've seen it. It looks great.
It's a beautiful book. The back, that's got some problems.
Yeah,
for sure.
Some warts.
It's all there, but there's like some water damage on the back, and it's stained. It's got a good stain on it and some tears. I don't mind that at all.
No,
that is fine with me, because it's an intact book. The cover's attached actually pretty firmly by both staples, which I was really surprised at.
That's good.
But it's that back cover is a mess. But you know what? It's mine. I own it. I love it. I've read it. It's fantastic.
Well, the thing about that copy, like the orange in the cover, it still pops.
Oh,
it's not faded.
Yeah, the cover's fantastic. The back, ooh, that is not pretty, man. Not pretty. But it's all there.
I think for me, every single example is going to be a different evaluation. I can't blanketly say, nope, I wouldn't buy a low grade. I wouldn't have a low grade. It's just going to depend on the book. It's going to depend on the price. It's going to depend on the condition.
Yeah.
And Avengers #1, that's a good example of it's, let's just throw a number out there. Let's say it was like $1,000, but it was beat but complete. I mean, if that were fair amount and it might not even be anymore. Maybe you can't get an Avengers #1 in any shape or form for $1,000 anymore. But if it was fair market value and it was, beat but complete, maybe I would be like, well, this is my only chance. But I have a feeling I'm going to think to myself, like, all I'm going to think about is all the damage. I'm not going to think about the book. And I don't want to, be like obsessive about the damage. I want to be obsessive about the book.
One thing to consider is, okay, say you see this book and you think, okay, you know what? That's it. This is a fair price for the grade that it's in. What if I don't find another one, or like, what if it goes up in price and you get that fear of, what if I miss this opportunity? But then what's happened to me several times is further down the road, you find an even better copy at a better price. And you're like, what was I thinking?
Now you got to get rid of the old one and buy the new. Yeah.
Yes.
It's a whole process.
So there's always that concern.
Sure.
So yeah, you know what? I would agree with you to I'm willing to let a lot more slide than you are.
Yeah, I think so.
But I think there is something to be said for waiting for the right opportunity.
I think that another big difference for me is I don't collect Silver Age books pretty much at all. There are some Silver Age books that I would like to have, but I can't afford them, right? In any condition. I can't afford Amazing Spider-Man #1. In any condition, I can't afford, issue 14, First Green Goblin. I can't afford that probably in almost any condition. So the stuff that I collect is mostly going to be 70s, late 70s,
Okay.
mostly 80s and
Mhm.
90s books. And then,
Okay.
so copper, bronze, modern. And like, I think I can find most of these types of books in a good enough condition for a good enough price that I don't want to settle. I think that's kind of what's going on in my mind.
Yeah, I can see that point.
Whereas if I was looking for a comic book from 1962 or 63, well, maybe I can't find that book in a good enough condition.
Again, with this, I'm assuming this would be like a sliding scale. So a book from like the early Bronze Age, early 70s.
Mm-hmm.
What would be your like low point?
Like let's say Giant Size X-Men #1. I'd love to have that. I would be happy with a 4.
Okay.
Assuming the price is right, and I haven't priced it out, so I don't know. But
well, I mean, let's talk about lower value books.
Okay.
Okay. So right now, I'm looking for a lot of Bronze Age Marvel horror comics.
Yeah.
That's what I'm looking for right now. And these aren't super expensive. They're pretty inexpensive.
For sure, mostly under $100, right?
Oh, sure.
Well,
most of them are like around $10 to $20.
10 to 20. Okay.
Not nothing jaw dropping at all.
But hard to find.
They're hard to find.
Like titles wise, like what are we talking? I don't like.
Chamber of Chills, Vault of Evil. Where Creatures Roam. A lot of books people don't even realize Marvel put out. Yeah, they hold a whole line of Marvel comics, and what I find cool about them is you get a lot of like surprised writers and artists on these books.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's not uncommon to find a Vault of Evil book that John Romita did the artwork on.
Yeah,
very cool. And Stan Lee wrote the script. Really cool stuff.
Now, see, when you said, Marvel horror, I thought you were going to say like the bigger, like Werewolf by Night and Tomb of Dracula, those kinds of things.
And those are there too. And of course, you do have your
those are going to be a little more expensive, probably.
Well, yeah, like your Tomb of Dracula #10, Blade, obviously, and your
Werewolf by Night
32,
Moon Knight, right?
Yeah, Moon Knight.
Yeah,
even 33, which is his second appearance. So that's even a few $100. But the most of them are relatively inexpensive. But yeah, I'm even willing to let a lot of that slide just because I will take a lower grade Bronze Age books. Like I would take a 4 or 5 Bronze Age book, no problem.
But only because you're probably not going to find it in a higher grade. Like what if it was plentiful? What if it was like...
No, even if it was, super cheap, like I'd pick up, like I found one for $2.
But what if there was a $20 one that was much nicer right next to it?
I'll take the $2 one.
You would take the $2? Okay, that's fair if that's what you're into.
Again, that's to me, that book has got history on it. It's got that kid's name on the cover,
Yeah.
And this thing, you look at the spine, and it's been folded over so many times because that kid read that book like 100 times. There's something about that to me that's really cool.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair. Like, I'm a little bit more OCD, I think, and that's probably what it is I get, not OCD, because I hate when people say, like, oh, you're OCD or I'm OCD. Like, that's a real affliction.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with having a nice, pristine copy of a book. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I can absolutely see the appeal in that.
I just get, like, worked up with, like, I can't get it out of my head. It's like, oh, that cover is about to detach, and, like, the next time I pick it up, it's gonna fall apart. Like, that... that's what I would think about when I thought of the book, you know?
We'll just read it the one time and then seal it away forever.
Exactly. Yeah. All right. Well, I think that's more or less kind of the what I wanted to cover with this one. I don't want to drag this one out. Our last video, which you guys will probably see on the channel, ran for like almost an hour. If you're interested in comic book conventions and like the inside tips and tricks, this guy has been to a bunch of them, and we did a very long discussion on that topic.
Yeah, they're a lot of fun.
So check out that, subscribe to the channel for the giveaways, of course, and let us know in the comments, what do you think about A, slabbed versus unslabbed, and B, low grade or no grade? Would you rather have a low grade comic or no comic at all? Would you rather have a comic book in a slab or loose? I'm curious to see what you guys think. Any final thoughts?
And like most conversations we have, these could go on a lot longer. And if anybody has any questions or anything, leave a comment. Let us know, and we'll address it.
All right, cool. Well, that'll wrap this one up for today. Thanks for tuning in and watching. We appreciate it. And as always, Keep collecting comics, keep watching this channel, and until the next one, bye now.
Bye.